Hi guys, welcome back to Infinite Possibilities, the podcast where we explore the lives of amazing people, their choices, challenges and opportunities. And today I have a very special guest, Philip. Hello.
Hello, Karen. How are you today?
Good, thank you. So Philip, what's your job? What kind of stuff do you do?
Um, I am an IT engineer.
IT engineer.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
I study in my country a bachelor degree. Is more like a collect computing systems, something like that.
Yeah.
Here in Australia, the name is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, partially it's IT stuff and all of that, technology. Yeah.
Oh, so we really want to know how Philip got into this IT stuff. So we're going to go right from the beginning. So, Philip, first of all, what's your full name? It sounds really cool when you say it.
Okay, my full name sounds in the Latin way. It will be Daniel Felipe Martinez Lobo. It's a long name, actually. We usually have two last names and two names. And usually when we write them in a paper, it's too long. So I like here in Australia because you have to, put your first name and last name and that's it. So yeah.
And then so you told me that you go by Philip, but your first name actually is Daniel.
Yeah, my first name actually is Daniel, but I like more my middle name. I usually use it more and introduce myself always
Philip.
like Philip. Yeah, actually it's Felipe, but in order that the English speakers understand my name, I prefer to say that my name is Philip because I know that it's the translation to the English. My Felipe is Philip in English.
Yeah, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, you have to write it down different, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. You also told me that you really like your name because there's the hidden word wolf.
Oh yeah, my second last name in English it could be Wolf. So yeah, when I was a teenager, my friends used to call me Lobo. Lobo is the translation for wolf to Spanish English. So actually, it's a nice, it's a nice nickname. Yeah, you're popular just with your last name.
Oh, very nice. Thank Philip's mama for that.
Yeah, thanks, my mom. But actually, it would have been better if I had, for example, the last name of my grand. They used to be German.
Ooh.
So if for example, if my mother would inherit her last name, it wouldn't be Lobo, it would be Müller. Yeah, but it's so sad,
So what does Müller mean? Why do you like it so much?
because it's a German last name. Yeah.
So you just wanted a German.
Yeah, I wanted the last name. It's funny because, it's a Latin name and a German.
name.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yes, I have a German last name.
Sorry about your loss.
Yeah, that's sad, but it's okay.
Okay, so Philip, where did you grow up?
I born in Colombia. Is the northern country in South America. It's like in the middle between Central America and North America. It's a nice country. It's a tropical country. Actually, we don't have there like seasons. You don't feel the seasons like here in Australia that you have winter or summer and all of that. No, we usually have hot and raining and that's it. Yeah, and always is between 25 degrees and 30. So when I arrived here to Australia, for me it was hard because winter for me was too much. Yeah, I know many Australians say, no, the winter in Queensland is easy, but not for me. At the beginning, nowadays I'm used to it. But at the beginning it was very hard because we never usually buy coats or beanies or anything of that stuff in our country because you don't need it. Even at 3 a.m. if you are, I don't know, partying at that time, it's hot. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. And Philip, what kind of child were you like growing up? Were you very quiet, introverted? Were you very playful?
Actually, I have been always very curious. Always I have been curious with everything. I like to meet new people. I am very open-minded. I learn new things every day, different kind of stuff, not just in my career. I grew up in a Catholic family. It wasn't too bad. I think my parents are really fanatic of the religion. I'm not. I grew up believing in Buddhism.
So different.
Yeah, it's because I have always felt like an attachment with the Asian cultures. I don't know why. I think that in my other life I was an Asian or something like that. I have had in my life a lot of deja vus, and I believe in that. So I think that is like a connection. Actually, I like a lot of the Asian people. I think that they're amazing. I like their culture, all of them, but more the people from China. Yeah, it's a connection that I have always had. Is curiosity. So and yeah, I think that it was when I was a child I was introverted, but I like to talk to people. Maybe when I grow up I become more open to talk with different people, but I think that I cannot say that I keep the things that I was a child. No, I think that nowadays I am different. But yeah, when I was a child, I think that it was more. I used to read a lot when I was a child because I used to find more interest in the books than people. Yeah, so
Oh, that's cool. And so does that mean you enjoyed school as a kid?
I have always enjoyed school, even as an adult. Yeah, even nowadays, I still enjoy studying. I think that the most amazing thing of living is learning new stuff. Yeah, and I have met a lot of interest people here in Australia that they think the same than me, and it's amazing because sometimes people just learn things that they please them, but they don't see more. If there are more, like they get a point that they say, okay, I'm not going to study more. I think that I'm okay with it. And I think that is bad because your brain can storage a lot of information that you are not using. So I think that it would be amazing continuing like giving to your brain like a new stuff, because at the end we will die and we will not take anything to the other life, but our mind, it will keep forever, in my point of view.
Yeah. Oh, that's quite beautiful. Yeah, and Philip, where do you think you got your love for learning? Do you think it was from your parents? They're like, oh, Philip, reading is so good. Or...
I think it was more for my mom, because even she couldn't study when she was a child because financial problems and poverty in my country. But she always have been curious than me and my other brothers, because all my brothers are professionals. My old brother, he's a mathematician, and he has a lot of titles. My third brother, he is physics, and he has a PhD in physics. I'm an engineer. I think that I have the humble title.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, my other brother, he's an electrician. So yeah, usually, and my sister, because we are six, my sister, she's studying two careers actually. So yeah, it was very good that my parents couldn't study. It was sad for them, but they give us an example to grow up and be a better person in our life and fulfill our destiny in one way. And I think that the best way was studying. And yeah, all of us always have been very interested to learn new stuff and study and a lot. And I can say my brothers are nerds. If I compare with them, I am stupid, but yeah.
That's hilarious.
It is.
Yeah. So when you were in high school, and you're thinking about like the career and the future, what did you want to do at the time? Did you ever want to be a mathematician or a physicist like your
Actually, I have always dreamt with be a physics. I like the physics stuff. I have always been interested in physics because I would like to learn more about how the universe works. I think that I finished studying IT. It was more for money, because in that time I was thinking just in money, and I said I am going to study something that maybe in the future will be like a boom, and the IT was. and it's a good career. I like it, but I can say that I am still very inclined to study physics.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
pretty much physics was your main passion.
Yeah.
You were a bit too realistic. So
Yeah.
you're like, IT, make me money.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm give me money. Physics not too much. Physics too, of course.
Yeah.
But I think that in that time, IT was more like more. It was becoming more popular. So you can see nowadays that it's true. IT is an amazing, and here in Australia, when I enter to seek or any website to find out what is amazing because there are a lot of options here in Australia.
Good choice.
Yeah, it's a good choice. It was a good choice. Yeah, and for example, in my career, you can go for different paths in telecommunications, in programming, in database. There are different areas. Help support, project management. I have done a lot of stuff of many part of my career, but I like more as project manager in telecommunication. I am not doing that at the moment, but I'm trying.
Aw, okay. Tell me more about what it was like to study IT for 5 years in your university. Did you enjoy it?
I really enjoy it because as I said before, study is amazing. No matter what kind of stuff you study, I think that the most important is that you are an open-minded person to learn new stuff, even if you don't like it. Yeah. So I like IT, of course. I am more inclined for physics. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. But it was very amazing because I learned a lot of stuff that I was very interested. And in that time, I can say that it's not like nowadays that the technology is amazing. You can see a lot of stuff that in that time I didn't used to have. The computer, the laptops, the cell phones, the cameras, everything integrated. I remember that I used to have different stuff like a notebook to write things. I used to have a calendar. I used to have my gadgets in different...
Like hard copy applications.
Exactly, but nowadays you have just one, so it's pretty amazing. So it's amazing the scalability that technology have had in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Even when I was a kid, I remember in the 90s, I remember in 1995, the computer that I used to have, comparing with the computer that I am using at the moment is amazing. Yeah, so I think that it was a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Some people, they think that university is like the best 5 years of their life. What did you think? Or did you prefer high school over university?
In my country, people say the contrary. In my country, people say that the best part of life is high school, but not in my case. In my case, the best is in the university.
Woohoo! I agree as well. Okay, so tell me why you think that. Why wasn't high school the best years of your life?
I think because high school, you are more innocent and you don't know a lot of stuff that you know when you grow up and when you are in university. Also because in high school, you are still under the love of your parents because you are usually living still with them.
Yeah.
But when you are in uni, you don't have to comply the same rules.
You love freedom as much as I do.
Exactly. I like a lot of the freedom. So I think that you can enjoy more stuff when you are in the university than when you are in high school. Because it's normal that when you are in high school, in the university, you are above the majority of age. So it's funny because in my country, when you get your 18 years, the first thing that teenagers usually go to do is get the driver license to enter to the clubs. All of them do that. I have to go to get my driver license and say, 18 years, you can enter. Yeah, because it's forbidden in my country. If you are underage, you cannot enter to a club.
Oh,
You cannot.
wow.
So there are a lot of restrictions when you are under the age.
Yeah.
So yeah, It's amazing. I remember that I did it when I get my 18 years. I went to get my driver license because I needed it. I want to enter to the club.
So tell me, during those 5 years of university, what did life look like for you? Were you a big party animal?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was. I used to have a couple of friends. We were a group of four, and we used to party a lot, a lot. So drinks. We study a lot, of course. I can say that I was a nerd when I was in the university, but because I used to study a lot. But as much as I study, I party. Exactly. It was the same than here when I went to Australia. I used to study a lot of English, and also I used to party a lot because it was nice. You can meet new people, you can drink, you can dance. Even in my country, it's necessary that you have learned how to dance, because if you don't do it, it's bad for you. You cannot flirting like you usually do, because in my country, if you compare with Australia, for example, Karen, the kind of dance that we have in our country are totally different. It's more like a moving the hips, like doing different stuff. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to go to a Latin party, yeah, you can be the life of being seeing just the people dancing. It's amazing. I am a medium dancer. Yeah, medium. I am not high. I am medium, and I can say that I dance pretty well. But I have met people that they are insane. Yeah.
Wow. So where do you learn to dance? Did you learn it back in Colombia?
In high school, usually in high school, as I said before, is something socially required when you grow up. So usually, when you are in high school, a lot of girls, it's a tradition that when they get 15 years, they do like a party because they become a woman, something like that.
Yeah.
So in my country, they usually do like that big party for the girls. So they invite their friends, and they like dance in the vals and dance, and they do like a choreographies, like with different kind of dancings. So the party is for the girl that is getting the 15 years.
Yeah.
But usually in those parties, we used to go to to meet girls,
Yeah.
to dancing, and I went a lot of those parties when I was in 16 years, more or less. I went like a 10, 11. So you learn how to dance. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And what kind of dancing is it?
Is, for example, there is one called salsa.
Yes.
Another call it salsa is more popular in the world because there are a lot of countries that they usually dance. It's also one called merengue. The steps are totally different in all of that. Also one called bachata. There is another called salsa, merengue, bachata, vallenato. There is another one. Of course, all of them, the rhythm is different. People usually get excited because it's very popular. For example, the vallenato in our country and the salsa, and we have a lot of good singers, and they are still. People are very interested in the inside culture than the outside usually. In my case, I have been interested in everything. So yeah.
Wow, that's cool. And so if one person had to learn one dance only for their whole life, which one do you recommend out of those 5?
Salsa.
Salsa.
It's the most popular. Yeah, if you become an expert dancing salsa,
Get all the girls.
in the parties, yes. Even if you are a woman, I met one Australian woman that she was a very good dancer in salsa here in Australia, and I can say there is delightful seeing those people dancing. The people who are expert. So yeah, you can get good stuff.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I also want to know more about your uni life. So we see you studying very hard, also partying very hard. Did you also do any other like sports, or were you working at the time as well?
Yeah. Nowadays here in Australia, I the first work that I had, for example, it was as a dishwasher in a restaurant. It was
Yeah.
pretty good,
No,
but
what about uni? At uni, did you work at uni or no?
oh yes, of course. At the uni, when I was at the uni, it was more or less in 2014. I started the no, I finished the uni in 2014. I started in 2009, and I used to work. Firstly, I started as a help support officer. I used to help people with issues with computers and all of that stuff. But I used to work in database and data mining. It was like crossing information with different from different databases, like to do reports about the health system in our country. So it was a pretty good, interesting work. But partially it was the two jobs that I had when I was there. The last one, I work as a project manager in telecommunications because it's my second degree. And it was very amazing because you start to learn how works different stuff that you see in the offices and also things that you don't see in the offices. Like for example, there are a lot of equipment that makes company work that people don't see it because usually it's in the highest place yeah. So that's usually called a data center. It's a place where is all the IT stuff is safe. Of course, not just anyone can enter there. Is something very secure, but in my point of view as an engineer, is like at the fun place for us.
Yeah. Fun place.
Yeah,
Secret place.
it's the fun place. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool. And tell me, when did you come to Australia and why?
Yeah, I came to Australia like for the dream to change my life, like because I got a point in my country that I didn't feel like fulfilled. I didn't feel like happy with the thing that I was doing, and also because I used to have a friend that she told me once that her boyfriend in that time, the guy was working like for a multinational company abroad. He was living in Colombia, but he was working for a multinational in abroad, and it was amazing because the guy learned English when he was a teenager, and he usually the company pay travels for him going to different countries to do like help decks and different stuff, and it was amazing. And I thought, what, I cannot do that. And so of course, the currency in my country is lower than Australia, so I have to save a lot of money and get like a loan. So I decided like for change my life, and also because I wanted to learn new stuff. So firstly it was the language. Of course, I wanted to learn. I have wanted to learn English like a native speaker all my life. I can, people can tell me, oh, your English is good, but I mean, in my case, I don't feel comfortable with the English that I have. So I need more because I have always been like a very curious to learn new stuff. So I think that I need more study. And that was the why, because I want to change my life. And I arrived in 25 of May, the 25th of May, 3 years ago, more or less. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Damn. And how long did it, when you first had the idea that you want to go to, it wasn't go to Australia, it was just get out, was it?
Actually, I wanted to do it in the correct way because I have always tried to be fair in my life, and so I started to look up information in different countries in the world. So usually all the countries in the world, they have rules. They have a lot of rules that not just you can go and stay there forever. No, you cannot, because you have to pass for different
Different requirements, criteria.
Exactly.
XYZ work experience.
Exactly. So I have the experience. I have the bachelor. I am single. So so I started first in the United States, but in the United States you cannot you can go there to study, but you cannot work. Nowadays they have changed the things, but in that time, no.
Yeah.
So England is exactly the same, and the only countries and populars that you can go work and study is because, of course, you need to work to live. Usually it's not something normal. I don't know why there are countries that they don't allow that, but it's okay, it's their rules. But the most popular it have been always Canada, New Zealand, and Australia.
Yeah.
So in that time, I remember when I started to look the information, the most popular it was Australia. So I started to look at the information about the cities, which city can I go, because firstly I was thinking about New Zealand, but at the end I decided for Australia. And after that, I started to look back. It was the city that I wanted to go. So I am from a city that is usually always hot, as you heard before. So I say, why not Queensland? So I choose Brisbane. They lied to me. They didn't tell me that it was. They didn't tell me that it was cold in winter. It's okay. I didn't have a coat, but I bought some of them here. So yeah, I think that was the why and what. Yeah, no, I chose. Yes, and I think it was because it's popular and it's still very popular. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And so, when did you first have the idea, and then when did you arrive in Australia? Was there like, did it take you like a few years to save up money?
Yeah,
or?
actually, it takes a long time. Actually, like 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
Like I started to think to came to Australia, like okay, I arrived here 3 years ago. That was in 2019. So I started to think that like 2015, but I didn't have the money, and also if you want to come to Australia, you have to you have to apply to many requirements. But if you want to do it in the professional way, it's better if you have a bachelor degree before, because that gives you like a more points or more probability that you can apply to the visa and they approve it in an easy way. So yeah, I think that in my case, I had the career and it helped me a lot, and I had the experience also. So I think that for me it's easy. But of course, you have any way to show the money. You have like to show the country a quantity of money that in case that you cannot get a work, you can keep paying your bills. But because that's funny, because to the country you are an Australian citizen and you have to pay taxes and all of that, but you have to comply to other rules. So it's funny because you are and you are not.
Yeah, you are in some respects, you are not.
And exactly.
Pick and choose. Yeah. Okay. And so, I know you did your Bachelor of IT, right? And then you also did like telecoms degree.
Yes, my bachelor degree. Usually in our country, the bachelor degree lasts 5 years. So it was 5 years in computing science. That is the same than IT. And after that, I studied like a postgraduate diploma in telecommunication. It's it's not like a whole bachelor. It's like a short course, but it's pretty good, because in my country usually those courses give you the possibility to earn more money. So yeah, and actually I am inclined in that way. I just work in telecommunications. So I can say I am an IT engineer, but I work in telecommunications. There are other people that can say I'm an IT engineer, but I work, I don't know, in programming, for example. Yeah. So.
Oh, okay, that's cool. And so you told me that when you first came to Australia, your first job was a dishwasher, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, tell me more.
It was very hard, actually. I think I have had hard work years in Australia, but that one is pretty hard. It's very intense. And usually you start to suffer in your hands, in your joints, everywhere. I used to like, actually, because I think that sometimes in life you have to pass for difficult path to get a good one. So at the beginning it was hard. After that I found a work as a cleaner that it was too much easier, and they usually pay better. So yeah, I am still keeping my work as a cleaner. I think that is good. and also I work as an engineer. So I think that is the perfect balance. I call it the perfect balance because I work as a professional and I work as in a normal job. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. And so, what was it like trying to find a job when you first came to Australia? Because you already had that Bachelor of IT, but like, is it because they have like certain requirements, like English have to be very good, and so you couldn't find a job? Or?
Usually, the IT stuff that you learn in university is also in English, but you have to have good communication if you want to apply to a work in your career. Of course, they can take you from the beginning as somebody that don't know anything about technology, but you have at least to have a good level of English to talk with people. So yeah, it's totally the English is the most important thing if you come to a foreigner country. It doesn't matter the country, you have to learn the native language there if you want to improve like at your quality of life, to getting a good job. So yeah, I think that after I got a point with my English that I thought, okay, my English is very good, I can apply to a better job. And I applied like 6 months ago, the last December, and I was hired. Of course, I was really happy because it's my first job here in Australia as a professional, and the work, is pretty good. Yeah, I really like it.
Wow. So that means you worked. So the first 2 years in Australia, you worked mainly as a cleaner.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
I still keep that work in a company called Facilities First. It's an Australian company. It's a really good company, and the work is not very hard. I think that the work is okay. So I think that I can work easily. They can give you different shifts if you want. And I like to work there because I have a contract, so yeah, I really like it. Yeah.
Wow. And so, what was the life of being a cleaner for 2 years? Did you enjoy, or did it like did you see anything interesting?
Actually, the bad thing about being a cleaner is because you think a lot. So because is because it's the contrary of work as an engineer. When I work as an engineer, I have to think more than do stuff physically. And in the cleaner is different because you have to do more physical stuff than thinking. So you, for example, if you have to do vacuuming in this room, for example, you don't have to use your brain a lot. You just use your hands. So it's very hard because my brain usually thinks a lot. So I need to actually use headphones or listening something because.
Go crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I am a bit crazy, yeah. So.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. I think that everyone is crazy. It's just everyone manage their craziness differently. Exactly. That's my say.
Okay. So how do you manage your craziness, Philip?
Training.
Martial arts.
Training martial arts. Yeah, I think that the martial arts gave me the balance that I need in my life, like to handle the stress of life because everyone gets stress in different stuff. So in my case is I think that is more sometimes I worried a lot about the things. So I like to go and kicking and punching, in order to get balance my brain and my body. So,
Yeah, that's so true. Martial arts is really good. Getting out of your head and into your body and releasing stress.
Or also you can visit new places. I have always been like attached in a way with the nature. I feel like I connected with the nature. I don't know, so I like sometimes to take my car and go to know a new place. It's okay if you go alone. I don't care sometimes like other people to be with somebody. I feel like more. I feel happy to do my stuff alone, so it's okay. Of course, I like to be in company with people, but
So very independent.
yeah, I like to be independent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of cool. So tell me more about when you first started martial arts, and then what martial arts you did in the beginning.
As I said before, I was always been inclined with Chinese culture. And I used to watch a lot the Shaolin movies. It was amazing seeing those monks like kicking, punching, doing like a fly kicks. It was amazing. I have to practice once in my life. So of course, when I was in uni, I couldn't because I was working a day and studying at night, so I didn't have the time.
And partying, don't forget.
And partying at night, sometimes. It wasn't just every weekend. It was sometimes maybe 2 weeks every month. So yeah. So when I finished uni, I thought, okay, now that I have time at night, I'm going to practice something that I always wanted to practice. So I entered to practice Shaolin Kungfu. In my country, there is a good school. I think there are a lot of schools from martial arts. Yeah, but I think that one is the best one that you can find in my country. So my sifu, he is very good, and he's this disciple of one of the like a top Shaolin monks in China. So I think we are in a good way.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of stuff like how to. They teach you how to keep the balance between your mind and your body, meditating, learning about Buddhism, and also you get a point that you with breathing you learn how to control yourself. For me, it has always been hard because sometimes sometimes I use more my feelings than my mind. So I think that for me it was a good balance, learn that stuff, and that's why I'm still practicing. Of course, at the beginning when I was in Australia, I couldn't, but nowadays I retake it like 7 months ago in this Wing Chun school. So yeah, I am very happy to still practicing something. I miss Shaolin Kung Fu, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
But
It tells me all the time the kick in Shaolin Kung Fu.
Yeah.
With Wing Chun, we don't have that many.
No. In Shaolin, we have around 15 styles or more. I remember that it was like 20. Yeah, but it's okay. I think that is learning stuff is pretty good. So, and I am also very fan of Ip Man. So, yeah, I'm very, very fan. And watching those movies is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. And so when you first started Shaolin Kung Fu, was it love at first sight?
Yes, it was. I feel like when you feel in your brain that say that people who is in love say they like a butterflies in your stomach.
Yeah.
I felt that, but in my mind.
Wow.
I have always felt when something is amazing, I feel in my brain like
Exploding?
like an exploding. I have felt that many times. When something is very amazing, when I remember a song that I haven't heard in a long time, I felt that in my mind. Yeah, I don't feel it all the time, of course, but when I feel it, it's like I usually keep like in that state like for a few seconds. Yeah.
Slap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know about it, or the slap,
Yeah, okay, I'm not going to talk about that. Okay, so Shaolin Kung Fu, and how long did you train for? You trained for like 6 years, man.
6 years. Yeah, I started in 2013. No, I started in 2014 when I finished uni. I practiced is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 9. No, I practiced until 19. It was 5 years. Yeah, it was 5 years. It was 5 years, and after that I came to Australia. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so what are the levels in Shaolin Kung Fu?
Actually, in the traditional Shaolin Kung Fu, they don't have like in other martial arts like belts and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
No, they you have the gray uniform for the students, the yellow for the sifu, and that's it. They don't have more. So they have degrees like for example, it was one called like auxiliar, somebody that helped the Shifu to give the classes, call it the Yaolien. I don't know if I said it properly.
Yeah.
It's Cantonese or Chinese. I don't remember. And usually the forms that you learn there, they teach you in Mandarin. So you learn how to count in Mandarin. You learn
Demonstration?
I E R San Si Wo Liu Shi Fa Xiu Su, something like that. Right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and also the forms that you learn in Shaolin Kung Fu, they are in Mandarin, like Chi Chin Chuan, like Gu Pu Chuan, like I don't know what it means nowadays, but in that time I remember because they were translated to the Mandarin to Spanish, so it's pretty hard because sometimes when you translate from one language to another one, the meanings change a lot. So Shaolin, it was a very good. It was an amazing experience. Yeah.
Wow, and how many days did you train? So you just graduated and you're like, I'm gonna do Shaolin Kung Fu. Did you like?
Oh, sorry, I missed the thing about the degrees. So what I was saying, the traditional they don't have, but in the school that I used to have, my sifu, he created a different levels in order to differentiate. So the traditional monks, they use like a bell, to keep the uniform here.
Yeah.
So my shifu create that system too. So we have like a 10 levels. To get the 10 level that it was black belt, you have to learn Shaolin Kung Fu for 10 years or more. So
Halfway there, Philip.
so every degree was more or less from 6 to 8 months, depending on your progress, and you have to learn for every level 3 forms of your hands and another forms with a weapon. So usually it was a saber, or it was the gun, or it was it was different kind of weapons. I just remember those two because it was the weapons that I used to use. Overall, the saber, I really like the forms with the saber. And yeah, so partially I got until the medium level, that it was like a blue. So it was like a blue, almost red, because my chifu created the belts in the colors of the flag of our country, that is yellow, blue, red. So yeah, yellow, it was like beginner. Blue, it was intermediate, and red, it was like a high level. Yeah, and after that, it was black. So yeah, I got almost to red. So it was more like around 6 bells, and I have them in my house. The 6 bells, like a boom, 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 and they put your name in Chinese. It's amazing.
So what's your Chinese name? Nah.
I don't remember. I don't remember. Sorry.
You gotta claim your Chinese identity, right? Remember your past life.
Yeah. No, sorry. At the moment, I don't remember.
Okay. So when you did Shaolin Kung Fu, how many days you practiced?
Okay, I used to be a really good student. I started with 3 days per week. We used to practice Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. But by myself, I used to practice the other days different stuff.
So you practiced every day?
Partially 6 days per week. So, and I used to do all the normal training, like hitting your body. Usually the trainings in Shaolin are very long, like 1 hour you just condition your body, 1 hour doing basic stuff, and 1 hour doing the high level stuff. So it's the trainings usually that when I used to train with my classmates, I remember that it was more like 2.5 hours to 3 hours every day. Wow. So it's pretty hard.
Yeah, and so when you train at home by yourself, how long do you train for? You don't train for 3 hours, huh?
No. Usually I did the hitting usually, and after that I center in one specific thing. So I said, I'm going to practice today my beginner form. So it's 3 forms. And when you get more forms, it's pretty hard, because if you want to increase to another level, you have to show all the forms. So in my level, I used to know 22 forms.
Gosh.
So, and you have to show all the 22 forms in one exam. So the exam used to take hours. And you were very tired because you have to show the power, how to use the kicks. Sometimes you have to fly. So it's very hard. It's very hard. The Shaolin exams are very hard.
Wow. So 4 hours, 5 hours?
Maybe because the good thing is you have in the exams you start with a lot of people. So for example, you start with all the beginners at the same time. So the beginners got until their forms, and after that the old people, they have to continue and continue and continue. And maybe the person, for example, who wants to show until red level, for example, he gets alone until one point, and is the Shifu and all of the Yaolien showing you alone doing the forms.
That's crazy.
So it usually gets harder because everything is watching you, and you have to do it very well, because if you make a mistake, they say, start again. Yeah, so it's very hard.
Yeah, it's very intense.
It's very intense.
So were you very sad to come to Australia because you're like, damn, I'm nearly at the red belt, and then you leave?
It's okay. I think that it was a good experience. I think that something that I learned in philosophy, because now I study philosophy, it was that everything in life, it comes with change, and the change is good. So you have to be open to accept that change. So it's something normal in nature, in life. People born, people die. So you have to get used to learn how to manage the change. So yeah, I was sad, of course, because I have good relationship with my colleagues there, with my Sifu, and for me that become like a second family, because I used to. Not just the kicking and the punchings, but you create like a joint, something like how can I say that? Like a connection with them. So they become your brothers. Yeah. They could become your sisters. So, and they teach you that they are not just the person who you practice and who you fight. Sometimes no, it becomes like your second brother. Yeah. And you get like you start to love them. Yeah. And when you start to meet them, it's amazing. So yeah, I missed it, of course, but I wanted to practice something else, like to learn new stuff. I thought in my mind, okay, I am close to China, maybe I can learn a new stuff. And also like Wing Chun, I have always liked Wing Chun. I like the style, so I say, why not? And I started.
That's how Philip joined Wing Chun. You
Exactly.
joined like a year ago.
No, like 7 months, I think. I don't remember actually. I don't remember.
You need your Wing Chun annual anniversary.
Something, maybe. I don't know when. Yeah. I need to check the bank account. The day that they started to take my money, yeah, to charge the money, that day I started. But I don't remember when.
Sounds good. Nice. And then tell me more about engineering, being like IT engineer. What kind of stuff do you do now?
Okay, nowadays I work in help desk support. My job partially is like the company where I work is based doing like IT stuff to different companies in Brisbane. Yeah. And in Australia, of course, because they work with different schools in different cities in Australia. So every company manage different kind of IT stuff, like switches, like routers, like internet connections, like desk machines. So every user have different programs, and sometimes this program fails. So they call the IT support. We manage the level 1, 2, 3 layer in help support, and of course we don't know all the stuff. That's something normal in all people. So we contact with the maker of the machines, and we find the solution to help the user in different IT stuff. from the internet connection until when the machine is broken, when the program is not working. So what I usually used to do, I have to take my phone, call the client, say, hey mate, how are you doing today? Do you want that I help you to fix the problem? I check, of course you have to have knowledge in different areas, since you know how to work the hardware until how to work the software. There are sometimes stuff that we don't manage. For example, there are companies that they usually manage their own IT stuff, but they also have like external consultants to help them if they cannot fix the problem. It's something normal, I think. So yeah, it's partially is that the work that I do. I really like it. It's amazing. As I said before, yeah, I like physics, of course, but I also like IT. So it's like a 100%, 90. So yeah.
90 is good enough.
Yeah, I think that is almost the same for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And why do you like your job? What do you like about it? Isn't it annoying every day? Someone's like, Philip, stop! I do this, and then you're like, oh man, this is the 5th time someone's talking about the same problem in one day.
No, actually, it's fun because human beings, we are social animals. Yeah. So, as being social animals, it's amazing to interact with new people. Yeah. And also help them with their problems. It's like an IT psychologist, something like that. They have an issue, you just connect with them and you try to find the solution. So it's interesting when some issue becomes a problem because you have to look a lot of stuff. Of course, we don't know everything, as I said before. So when we don't know how to solve the problem, of course, we check the internet, but we have the knowledge and we know how to find it, where to apply the rules to make that work again. Sometimes we don't find the solution. So what we usually do, we escalate the issue to another engineer that maybe have more experience of that, or maybe in the maker, and they you have to do this and this and this and this, and we find the solution at the end. So partially, when you study engineering, you have to know the engineering. The goal of engineering is find a solution of a problem. So as an engineer, you know that. So if you become an engineer, that makes you who you are in your career. So it's fun to help people. Yeah. And sometimes it's not just to their problems, of course, with IT stuff. Sometimes companies, they hire us to install different kind of hardware in the companies. So we have to configure it from the beginning. We have to do all the configuration, and that stuff for me is very interesting because when they give you the machines and the machine is totally new, you have to put different stuff and apply rules to make that devices work, that device that nobody sees, as I said before. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. And what don't you like about your job?
What I don't like about my job, okay. What I don't like about my job. It's a good question. Because I like everything. It's a good question, yeah, actually.
3 years. Because I think you're only 7 months in.
Yeah, I have been there 7 months.
Well, when you started Wing Chun, you also started this IT engineering job, right?
Yeah, more or less the same time. But of course, there are days that you don't feel. Every day you don't feel happy. There are days that you maybe have I don't know, you maybe wake up with the right side of the bed, exactly, and you feel different. Even you have to go to work, but I try to find it interesting in doing the stuff that I do. So I cannot say at the moment what is the best stuff of my work. Of course, there is something that maybe I don't like, but until the moment I can say that I like everything. Yeah.
Wow, Philip, I'm so happy for you. Okay, that's good. And then tell me more about working as a cleaner at Ikea on the weekend. Hello, IT engineer in the weekday and cleaner in the weekend.
Yeah. I wake up more or less at 4:30 a.m. on weekends.
Oh.
I take a bath, I
Shower clean, da,
yeah,
da, da.
yeah, and I go to work. The work is easy. Partially, is clean Ikea or Lakes. Is a shopping center that they sell furniture.
Oh, so you clean their furniture on display?
No, not porque the furniture is safe usually in boxes, so it's new.
Oh, you clean
So
their new furniture.
no, I mean they have the store have stuff everywhere, like at the showroom, like at the market
Yeah.
hall, like at the warehouse. They have all the stuff in different areas. So there are different. There are like a four people who work on weekends.
Yeah.
So what they usually do, we have to clean different areas. In my case, I have to clean the cash lines because, of course, people touch and there are a lot of bacteria on COVID-19, So we have to use sanitizing and different stuff to make it clean, to look better, like clean the floor.
Yeah.
I have also to clean the car park. Also, I have to clean the lifts with the special stuff to make it looks better. I think that the work is easy. It's not hard. Yeah. And they pay good.
Yeah. Better than his actual IT engineering. Yeah.
No.
Job,
No, it's almost the same.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
the same.
They increase my salary, so yeah.
Okay. Happy for you, Philip.
Yeah.
So, what don't you like and what do you like about being a cleaner at IKEA?
I don't like being a cleaner sometimes that people is not polite
Yeah, that's
because
rude.
of your job.
Yeah.
So there are people who sometimes ask me, like, for example, hey, mate, do you know where is this stuff? And I say, I don't know, but I can help you. Or there are people who say, you are just a cleaner. And it's like, I have been working there for 2 years. I know all the store. I know where is the stuff specifically. Sometimes, where is the spoons? Okay, it's in the section 2 of the market hall, kitchen area. I know it because I have been there for a long time, so I know all the areas. So, yeah.
And is there anything that you like about your job other than the pay?
Other than the pay, I think that, as I said, I think that is the perfect balance between the
Thinking
professional
and
job. Yeah, exactly. So,
Oh, that's beautiful. Sounds good. So we're nearly at the end of the podcast. I just have to ask you those deep questions. So Philip, what do you think the meaning of life is?
the meaning of life, in my opinion, is doing what you like and doing it as you want. So, if you want to become an engineer, you can do it. You just have to push yourself to do it. Sometimes it's hard. Everyone don't have the same opportunities in life, of course, but if you try to find it, you can get it. So I think that the meaning of life, in my opinion, is doing what you like with love. Yeah, of course, there are some times that you can get problems, you can have issues, but the most important is you cannot give up, because if you give up, somebody else will take what you want. Yeah, exactly.
That's so sad. Okay, cool. So Philip, if you won the lottery tomorrow and finances were not a concern, you got big cash, how would you change your life?
I think that it would live in the same way,
Okay.
because I like to be humble with the stuff that I have. I don't like to buy a lot of stuff. Of course, I would buy like good gadgets, because of course, as an engineer, I would buy, maybe change my car. But I think that I would keep my job because I like it. It's not bad. Maybe I would travel more. Maybe I would go to my country to visit my parents and my siblings. But partially, I wouldn't change my life a lot. Even I would keep I would keep all my jobs. Why not?
You would still work as a cleaner and wake up
Yes,
at
why
4:30.
not? Yeah, it's okay.
But you could get new hobbies.
I could, for example, maybe give up to the cleaner job and I could learn new stuff. For example, I could hire every weekend a teacher to improve my English more, or maybe I am learning nowadays German, so maybe I could improve more my German.
Yeah. You should learn Chinese, right? Because you're like Asian in your past
Yeah,
life.
I would like to learn Mandarin, or maybe Japanese, but I find it very hard, because technically the sounds that those Asian countries have is totally different than Latin languages or Germanic languages, so it's pretty hard. I have tried it before, but it's hard, very hard. Even to say your last name, I cannot say Liang. So, okay, good. So, yeah, so.
Spot on. Anything else that you want to learn other than English, and you said German?
I would like to learn more languages actually. Yeah, I have found very interesting always like try to communicate in different ways with different people. But I would like to learn more about physics or okay, yeah. If I would earn the lottery, maybe I would leave my jobs and I would enter to study the university again, just to study physics.
Aww.
Yeah, I could start again. Why not?
Yeah, and that's pretty damn brave to like start from the bottom again.
Yes, I think I found I have always thought that if somebody paid me just for study all my life, I would do it.
Wow.
Yeah, because I like to study. Yeah, I like the pressure of the exams. I like the pressure of being like desperate to
Get good grades.
to get the grade or to the next day to present I don't know like a presentation or something. Yeah, I found that very, very interesting. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's the first time I heard that. Good on you, Philip. Okay, so Philip, this leads me to the last question. What is the ideal day in the life? So, what is the perfect day for you?
The perfect day for me.
Yeah.
The perfect day for me. The perfect day for me, I think that it would be the day that I wake up and I don't have financial problems.
Okay, when Philip wins the lottery.
Yeah, when I get the lottery. No, I think that the life is good as it is. I think that you are not. I think that, of course, if you have more money, your life would improve, of course. But the most important is when you wake up every morning and you do what you like. Yeah, and I do what I like, so I'm happy for that.
Aww, that's so good.
Yeah.
Philip is so wholesome. Okay, let's say bye.
See ya.
Bye.